Okay, I'm seeing that I'm live now. First, hey Kegel, thanks for getting here, buddy. Sorry, we're having serious issues on the back end of this. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, guys. Like, I set up the stream, I clicked the link the same. The only thing I can think of is that I scheduled the stream on mobile like 4 days ago, when usually I just do it from a PC. So I think that probably jacked up the link somehow. I'm not gonna do that again, but hey, still learning, right? 6 months later, still learning. But cool, we're back. I think you can hear me. I think you can see me. Help other folks get over here. I think the link probably changed from what was posted on the socials. So if you hear folks asking questions, just point them this way. Shoot them the link. That would help me out a lot. Hey, Thunder Keys, good morning. Good morning, Havoc. We can. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Now, let me recap all the things. I think I got through like 15 minutes just talking to myself. I could see you guys talking to each other in the chat, but it looked like I was still waiting in the waiting room, which is not the case. Man, that was rough. Anyway. All right, to recap, spent a few hours on Thursday getting some of the wiring done. Spent about 4 hours yesterday getting the rest of the wiring done, and then another hour and a half, 2 hours this morning finishing up things. I've got one CAN cable left to connect. We have tool head on, we have belts on, we have motors wired, belts tensioned. I have not connected the display yet. I need a longer 40-pin cable for the display, or whatever pin it is. I need one of those, and I think that's really kind of it. We probably have to do some firmware tweaks as far as updating some of the pins based on where I plugged in some of the connections. But other than that, should be good to go. I need to make one slight change. I need to share this and update things because of all the challenges we were having. So let me have 1 second here. Should be good to go. Okay, good to go. All right, let me show you guys what I have done so far, and then we'll get this rolling. Gonna be a little bit of a shorter stream. Happy Father's Day to you all. I am headed out with the wife here in like a couple of hours, so maybe we hit the 3-hour mark, maybe we don't. It depends on what time she wakes up. Before I walked out here, she was still in bed. So normally it takes her an hour or so to get ready to go, which means targeting around 9 o'clock that we call the stream. So we'll do some quick updates. I'll get as far into it as possible. Not sure what just happened to the camera, but we'll get into that kind of stuff. I think my cameras are overheating a little bit being out here. Let's do something like that. There we go. Hey Bryce, good morning. Hopefully Michaela's taking you out somewhere nice. Get your nails done. All right, let me show you the printer. That's what we did. So we've got all the motors wired in and kind of routed through and made to be nice. We did this section on stream on Wednesday. Since then, I've added all your Z motors as well. So routed all those cables around. I did end up having to add in a 5-volt converter for the Pi, just the way that it's set up. I needed that 5-volt. I couldn't find in time something like this here. Let me show you. So if you don't know, these are a 5-volt converter. They do the same thing that this PSU does. They do the same as that, but this is what it looks like here. Let's put that in frame. So one of these, it takes your input and gives you 5 volt. And then I needed a USB micro because it's a Pi 3. So that comes wired on. So that's just already on there, and you can run that to whatever you need. And then you just connect your 24 volt power here. It's a little bit smaller of a footprint, but this one I already had. This one didn't get here in time, and so I just ran some cabling for that. They do the same thing. This one is probably just a little neater. They make it in a USB-C version if you want to use a Pi 4 or 5. So there are options out there. Comes from Amazon. It was only a few dollars. I think less than $10 for this. Man, we got a lot of people popping in the chat. Sorry about the stream problems today, guys. Good morning, Jeremy. Good morning. Oh no, it's Mike. Tactical Printing's here. Ikozad is here. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Welcome in. Make sure you check out Lee Marie on the YouTubes. They streamed what, 5 hours yesterday, a long time yesterday. I'm looking for this. You guys get the belt changer done? I am just about done, Jeremy, with this Inertia³. We've got, I'll show you up top here. Let's move the camera a little bit. If I move this up, sorry for trying to make you sick. I'm just manually doing it versus using the software because it's faster. But we got the belts routed. So you've got belts routed, tensioned using the ever useful PF Makes belt tensioner. So we've got some belt tension on there. These are actually GT3 belts. So I'm running a little bit higher belt tension than you would with a normal GT2. That's also because the motors are in double shear. So you're able to run a little bit higher belt tension without worrying about breaking the motors. So we've got that all good to go. Tool head is on and wired. The connections for the tool head board are done as well. Got some stuff done. Get back to the i3 once you're done at Murph. Yeah, I hear Zombie's gonna have slushy machines at Murph, so it should be a good time. Sorry, just trying to keep up with chat a little bit. What are those to the PCBs to the left of your MCU and next to the SSR? I'll get back to that in a second. I gotta move the camera down. So we got the wiring done here. CAN cable is routed through the back of the machine. I took the back panel off because I was finishing up the bed wiring this morning. So bed wires and cable chains are done. You can kind of see that running down the back here. And Bryce, you're asking about what are those to the PCB to the left of my MCU. This guy is just a like a power distribution block. This one is a so I can show you on the internet here. Have you tested those nozzles? It is installed right now, so we will be testing it if we can get the printer to print today. It's a rainbow shift, Bryce. So if you're asking me about the other PCB here, it's a rainbow shift from Vector 3D. The Corvus G board does not have RGB, and so I needed to add some because I have chamber lighting that is 5 volt. So up top here, there are chamber lights. I can kind of barely make them out. These here are chamber lights, this blue thing, and they're 5 volt. There's not a 5 volt RGB output on the board itself. So I added the rainbow shift, which I still need to program and power. So we won't have any chamber lighting today, but that'll do that, and it runs everything on a stick. Yeah, easier for WLED. Yep, so WLED, we'll be able to run that and make it do whatever we want it to do using Arduino, I think. And because it's everything on a stick, it can do white lights and it can do everything RGB. And yeah, that's my preference when I do chamber lighting, is to use RGB on a stick, or everything on a stick. I'll say that. Turns out that's everyone else's preference too, because they are almost sold out everywhere. But yeah, that's the thing, man. And with those things from Vector 3D are only $14. And if you get the entire kit, so you get the board already soldered with what you need, and then the ESP8266 module, you get both together. They're only $19.55, and then it comes with the downloads with the brackets and all the stuff you need to be able to connect that. So I need to add, and hopefully, Happy, if you're here, maybe you can help me answer this. I don't know which of the two cables from the mellow board or high or low. One is yellow, one is white, but I can't see it up top at the toolhead board side because it's an overmolded cable. So I don't know which one is connected to CAN high or CAN low. I need to figure that out before I can really finish up this build. One thing that is a little different on this too, though, is that the cable I wish was maybe like 6 inches longer. So I've got it run underneath the power supply. It just runs down the back of the panel, which is not as clean as I would normally do it. And then it comes in through one of the keystone ports back here. The other one is blocked by this bracket that I made. So it's just coming through this one keystone, which now I don't have a way to do a keystone. So I may need to redesign one of these front skirts to put a USB access or something in here. That way, if I need to plug something into the Pi, it's pretty. Yeah, look at Cletus if you would for me. How many lights do I use? 30, 60, 100, 144. I want to say each of the light sticks that are installed are 15. So my answer to your question is probably 30 or less. I have to go back and get the actual number. But whatever comes on and everything on a stick board times 2 is what I'm going to use. These are very small. I know that I'm blocking you guys from what I'm doing here, but I really kind of need to for a second. This is why I did the majority of the wiring off stream. Plus, just because I do it my way doesn't mean you can't do it your way. I don't want to be responsible for you burning your house down. If I'm honest though, I did make one mistake, and I'll down myself out because I'm not perfect. Use 60 because if you put them on white, it's true white light. Okay, I can use 60. Like I said, I haven't set up the WLED yet, but if you're recommending that I use 60, I can do that. Let me reach out to you for what that looks like. I've never set up one of these boards. I don't know how it works. It'll be a learning process before I can do that. Either way, one of the mistakes I made is back here at the mains wiring. So when I connected these jumpers over to the switch part of it, I swapped them. So I swapped neutral to live and live to neutral. So when I went to power on the printer for the first time, it blew the fuse in the switch itself, which is great. That's what it's supposed to do. And I was like, damn, I've never done that before. What happened? And I go back and I look at the wiring and I had them swapped. So if yeah, tactical printing, if you want to send me a video, that works great for me, man. Just DM me. I'm not sure if you're in my Discord or not, but if you want to join, there's a link in the video description, I believe. If not, we can drop one live here in a second. Yeah, so just double check this wiring back here if you're gonna do it, and that'll prevent you from running into what I had, because normally people don't have extra fuses lying around. I did, because I built a lot of printers and I want to be careful. So I had a package of 10 laying around. I swapped the fuse, swapped the wiring, and that ended up working out. So I'm gonna drop you a link here in chat, and we'll pin it for those folks that wish to come over to the Discord channel. You'll have one here in the chat. Sweet. So we're just about done. Like I said, I just need to finish up four crimps. We're gonna add the Molex, and then I'll chock it into here. Hoping that all of these Molex cables work out the way that I want them to. Once happy, you're in now. Thanks, Tactical Printing. Yeah, just follow the prompts in there to get verified. We do that just to keep the riffraff out of the Discord. Yep, I see you. You just got verified. So you should be able to post yellow is can high. That's what I was thinking, Happy. And so I preemptively put the labels on there that way. This is my can high label here. See if I can zoom you guys in. I feel like, at least for me, it could be my monitor, but I feel like I am way zoomed out. Something like that. Is that better? Yeah, so I've already preemptively labeled my yellow one can high. And then my my white one is can low. I just assumed that. I wish they would have confirmed in the wiring guide for this board. Let's get this one going here. Come on. Yeah, I am using the Mellow cable, Happy. I'm using the cable that came with the SHT36. I have spare cables that I bought from Mellow. They are unsheathed. You'll say it that way. But that also means that they're independent. So routing them or shortening them is a little easier without the thick coating around it. But they're also susceptible to noise that way too, so it's a trade-off. But I picked up, I think, 2 or 3 of those just in case I need to wire in other things. Specifically like a tool changer. Having additional CAN cables that you can use for connecting additional CAN items. Always good. I want to cut that, not drop things into the printer, so we should probably use. So these came with a JST connection on the end here of this wire. That's what I'm cutting off so that I can add a Molex connection instead. And we'll get in here with these guys and just take down the wire. Hopefully it's pretty nice for you all on Father's Day today. For us, it is supposed to be 107. It's crazy. It's already 75 out here now, which is comfortable. Nice and warm. Very comfortable. But here in, I don't know, 2 hours, it's going to be terrible. I think the wife and I are going to go to see Mission Impossible. I think that's the plan. She will tell me what I am doing as soon as she gets up today. Happy, how's that Cletus printer going for you? Is it working well? I saw that you were doing a new build. I quite like the new build. I am interested in doing one of those. I have a lot of extra extrusions and parts and pieces that I'm trying to use up. And having another just self-built production machine would help out. Because right now, Most of the self-built machines I have are in various stages of completion and or updating. It's slow. Well, I mean, it's a Cetus, so I don't know that it was ever meant to be fast. When that thing came out, I think it was already a little bit behind the technology. Something I always like to do is I like to take a picture and print it out of whatever I'm doing. So I've got one here for the U2C. This came from Esoterical's guide, and then I print it out, and I usually write on here too. That's why you see all my notes in the margin. I write on here what is connected where. So all of these notes are for my main board, but then I have the pinout for the toolhead board because that one's a little harder to see. But I do have it in the upper right corner of the screen there, and we can look at that closer if we need to. But I'll write in here in the margins like what is connected where. I'll also take photos and whatnot. So just some tips for those that are building as you go. When you start plugging things in, just take a note of where you put it in. That way you don't have to I don't know, go back and try to stick your head or hands in there and try to remember. It just doesn't work out well all the time. So if I'm referencing, let me flip this over. If I am referencing, where to go? This guy, and I go to here, here, and there. This is what we're doing. So this is the one we're doing right now. And I think I can zoom in on that. Yeah, there we go. So my ground and 24 are going to be at the bottom of the board, and then low and high are on the top of the board. Don't pay attention to the color. The color is not correct. All right, so we said that 24 volt is at the bottom of the board. So I'm just trying to orient the board like I would see it in the photo, which is kind of like this. I'm gonna connect to that black connector there. Simply because I don't have the pins for the larger connector. And I think it's a little bit overkill anyway. So we'll do, it looks like 24 volt on the bottom right, ground on the bottom left. So just taking my connector, make sure my locking tab is oriented correctly, which is on top, and that it fits in there, and it does. So it's going to go like so, with that locking connector on the top. And just double check, bottom right is your 24 volt. And because these pins are so short, there's not a lot of flex in the cable. You need to kind of do them both at the same time. So I'm doing ground and 24 at the same time because the gauge on the wire is very big. It makes it tough to get those pins in there. I need a tweezer to help me. And I was watching Steve yesterday on his stream, Steve Builds, and he gave me a tip, well, gave all of us a tip that I had never seen or heard of before, that your direction on what side is up matter when you're trying to insert the pins. Because I don't know about any of you, but sometimes when you put these in there, they don't want to go like they should go. And I think what Steve was saying is that the pins, the crimp side should be down, I think he said. I'm trying to remember. I just tried it with them being up, and it... Okay, yeah, so they need to be up. I think that's what he said. These crimps need to be up. Flip this around. If you put the crimps up, and we do this simultaneously, I'm hoping that they will in there, right? think that power line, that 24 volt, was trying to rotate as I put it in there, and so it wasn't exactly going like it should. Is it done yet, Liz? It is. Double, triple, yeah, exactly. Good morning, Keela. Good morning, Liz. Is it done yet? Liz, it is almost done. This is the last connection we're making. And then I need to turn it on, make sure nothing explodes, and then we should be good to go. Thank you for asking. But yeah, Jeremy, I agree with you, man. I'm double, triple checking. I'm talking about it like I have the reference, you know, literally right in front of me while it's on the screen as well. I'm just really making sure. But I'm running into the problem of like the cables being very stiff and big and don't want to go in there. I can get the power one in. This ground wire is not wanting to go. I think if I were doing multiple of these, like a tool changer like Jeremy's doing, I would probably do all of my connections for this particular part at the same time for every tool head. That way I'm not mixing them up. Yeah, so I'd probably build the CAN cable for every tool head. That way I get into a rhythm and a flow. And then I would move on to other wiring, because I think if you did one, moved on to other wiring, did another, did some more wiring, come back, like you could really get turned around. Just stay consistent. That ground cable just does not want to go. None of them want to stay in there. I'm not sure why. I think maybe the crimp is too large. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna remove some of this. They have this heat shrink on the end of here, and it's really preventing dexterity on the cable. Just trim that back, just cut a slot in there, peel that back. I need to put on more later. I can do that, but I think it'll be just be a little ugly, which is fine. And then hopefully that'll let me just do this one at a time instead of trying to do both. So 24 volt bottom right. I think that's it. Yep, that helped out. Having a couple more millimeters of room to bend and flex the cable. And then this ground still doesn't want to go in there. I wonder if I could crimp it a little more. That would help. Maybe it's just not crimped all the way. That one. Sorry if my head gets in the way. I gotta be able to see what I'm doing. Come on, baby. There we go. Let's see if that works. Might be the sheathing on the wire that's preventing it from working. Kegel et al. Taking the shortcut. I like it, Liz. I mean, it does get a little crazy trying to catch everybody that always pops in. I think that's, yeah, that's gonna go. Okay. Whew. That was a huge pain. Okay, Happy hooked me up, said that gauge wire in a yeah, it is a pain. I think that is 18 gauge wire. That's the problem. If it were a 20 gauge, it might be a little better. But yeah, I had to crimp down a little bit on the sheathing of the wire, and that allowed it to go. All right. Based on Happy hooking me up, he told me that can high was yellow. I have the label can high on here too, and that should be the upper right of the connector. And we'll do that one. Yeah, and that goes in there just fine, no problems. Can low is on the upper left. Let's put that one in there. I'm gonna use my tweezer to press on the back of the pin, push it all the way in just to be sure, and then checking the other end of the cable to make sure that I can see that they are fully inserted. You don't want those things backing out. You'll get intermittent connection issues, and it'll be a pain in the butt to solve that because you'll think you're good to go, but you won't be. And I'm just going to leave those labels kind of free floating on there. I'll shrink those later once we figure out what. So then we got our cable now. I'll just go ahead and place that inside the connection. That. I didn't see anything back out. Nothing seems loose. That's good. Now I'll just move this kind of. Add this back onto the in rail. That. Connect the Raspberry Pi via USB-C. I have like a short 8-inch cable going from the Pi here USB port. I know it's just below where the camera is. Going from the USB port over to the U2C, USB-C here. I can see it, slide it. But it's just a little 8-inch cable, and then I have another 8-inch cable connecting the Pi to the main board. So you can get shorter cables on the USB. You don't have to like coil them up and stow them away. Just get yourself some shorter cable. All right, should be good to go on the can. I've already routed the 24 volt cabling here that comes back over to the 2 yellow fork terminals on the power supply. So the board is getting power. We have the CAN cable, which should provide power up to the main board. Pi and everything else works. The only thing not working right now, because we haven't set it up yet, is the rainbow ship. This guy. Brock, it just takes practice, man. That's it. We're going to throw a cover on here too, like that, and it's going to be even cleaner. But if you take your time, you talk to yourself while you're doing it, give yourself that verbal motivation, you'll get there, buddy. Got to practice. This is probably the 15th self build that I've done, and you could definitely see a change in the way that I wire things from my first build to this one. And to me, this one is still not where I would like it to be as far as cleanliness. Forget who it is. It might have been Havoc, but somebody mentioned they usually use the cable sleeve over all of the things. That's too much work for me. I may end up doing it here just to make that nice, because that's kind of ugly to me. Same for this cable here, and I think everything else is just gonna have to be the way that it is. Yeah, the stuff for the LEDs, there are 2 LED sticks on this printer, and they run down the front extrusions. So they run down these extrusions here on the front. I printed some 3030 cable covers to keep the wiring in, so you have the motor wiring coming down here plus the LED wiring, and it sits underneath this front bar. So I just have some stick-on zip tie mounts that look like, I don't dump them all over the place, that look like this guy here. So these are just 3M stickable zip tie mounts, and I put that on my bottom panel, and then I'm using that to kind of cable manage things along the way. I've got some large ones and some small ones, and that works great. Yuri, thanks. Good morning, Projects in Dad's Garage. I saw that you were doing cartographer stuff this morning. I was lurking a little bit. Do you ever get it working? I think we should be able to power on at this point. I think so. There are no LEDs on my tool head. I chose not to do that. I didn't want to deal with the wiring and making custom wire harness LEDs, because soldering those things kind of sucks. So I chose not to do that on this build. Maybe later. Yep, got it put on, but had to stop short of programming. Have some family stuff to get ready. Yeah, I got it, man. It's Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to you. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit shorter of a stream for the same reason. The wife and I are supposed to go do stuff today. So she told me it's my day, and if I want to spend all day streaming, then that's on me. But if I want to go do stuff, I got to do it before lunch. Means I need to finish. What printer is this? Brock, this is called the Inertia³. Should be a link in the video description. We can zoom out and take a better look. If you want to know more about it, follow that link over to the GitHub, and you can self-source one of these right now. If you want to wait a while longer, then you can do so. There's rumor that a kit may be coming out. No, it's not a standard Voron build, although it is heavily Voron inspired. For one, it's got all-wheel drive on it, so you have 4 XY motors. You've got 4 Z motors, so you're gonna need more capacity based on the board that you're running. I'm just lucky enough to have a Corvus G board that will accept 8 stepper motors, and then with my toolhead board on the orbiter, that takes care of the extruder. So you need a board that is capable of 9 motor connections. So something like a Manta M8E may work. And then that'll allow you to have CAN access, LEDs, Raspberry Pi mount all in one instead of having 3 separate boards like I have here. I'm just using up a bunch of hardware that I had lying around. Yeah, 9 steppers. But I mean that's a very normal count these days. I mean, if you think about a Voron V2 that one has 4 Z motors. It's got 2 XY, so you're already at 6 right there. Plus you have an extruder, so that'll be 7 required for a Voron V2. Trident is 1 less than that. So if you do all-wheel drive on it, I mean, you're already over what this would take. Good to go? I think we should power on. Let's do some sanity checks. We have... I know that things work up to the point of the CAN cable because I was powered it up last week, or sorry, not even last week, Wednesday. We powered up Wednesday. We looked through some of the firmware, and we know that the firmware is good to go and it's talking. So things all the way through mains and mains. We have not connected SSR to the bed yet. I need to do that. I need to strip 2 wires because what I did is I ran everything down the cable chain, and then it comes over to these Wagos here, but I have not connected the Wagos to the SSR. So we need to run 2 more cables. Then we should be good. Let's just get out the 18 gauge once again, and I'm just using a kit like this. Strippers. This is the first build that I've used these wire strippers from West 3D. I really like these things. I had the other kind that was more like a, I don't know, like a squirt gun kind of stripper, and it worked okay. I used that for a long time. This one though, just it strips to the front, and I think I like that layout a little better. You built a 1.1 no hydro or all-wheel drive, but it prints. Yeah, dude, that's I've been curious about it doing a Mercury build. I don't have an Ender 5 anymore. I got rid of those about a year ago when we moved to California. I had 2 Ender 5s. One of them I converted using Boothy's Core XY mod. And then the other one I was kind of saving to do a Mercury build. And I even got Mercury kit from Fabrico. It's under there somewhere. With the intent of doing that mod, and I just did not. We'll just lay this in here for now. And I'll connect So I'm using blue for my neutral. Put that in there. Tug test, good to go. And then white I'm using for my my live because I ran out of red. So I've used this one kit to build maybe 3 or 4 different printers, and of course you're going to use a lot of red and black in that. So I probably should just get red and black wire instead of the kit that does multicolor, but I like it. What's your upcoming stream for building the latest conversion from an Ender 5 Plus to a Nebula? I would love to. I didn't realize that you stream, Mr. Cute. But I will definitely watch it. If you'll do me a favor and drop me a link in the Discord, I'd appreciate it. Just tag me on it so that I see it. It's hard, like when things stack up, Discord's not the best for going back and catching things. But yeah, feel free to send me a link. I'd love to support and check it out. Fabrico has the new frame kits for they do have it. I saw that. I'm in that weird space where I don't want to spend the money on new projects when I have so many unfinished projects here. I know what you're talking about on the name of it. I saw it advertised there. I think they call it like a galaxy or something. I forget the name too, but I did see it. I thought about it. $200 for a frame is kind of a lot when I have, you know, so many projects. I'm already lined up for another project after finishing this one. So we'll have this stream today. Maybe we do one next week if we don't get done. At the very least, I need to do another stream showing you how this one prints and runs and whatever. That may actually end up just being my first video versus live stream. But once we get this one finished and going, I will definitely do that. But the next project is different. Bryce will be joining the Streaming Pro soon. Heck yeah. Bryce, reach out if you need anything, like need any help or whatever. Jeremy will help you out. For all your streaming needs, reach out to Lead Marie 3D. Well, that's cool, Bryce. I haven't seen a build of that yet. How much was that frame? Which frame? The frame that I'm using? This is a beta kit. It came as a kit with the frame and a bunch of other stuff. It came with frame, linear rails, linear rods, bearings, and panels. So how much this frame was is hard to say. Yeah, Happy's in here. But I think, Havoc, if you were to self-source this frame, it's roughly, man, $250, $300 for 30 frame. Bryce, haven't started streaming yet, but it's your planned build. Well, get on it, dude. Just start. Just start doing it. My wife is the reason I started streaming. She told me, she's like, you're out there all the time by yourself doing this. Why don't you just put a camera on and do it and talk about it with a bunch of other people that do what you do? And I fought her for a long time because I didn't want to. I didn't have cameras and mics and all the things. And I definitely didn't know what to do in the software. But we figured it out. Had a snafu this morning, as some of you saw. I hope that stays on there. I feel like screwdriver. 3.5 due to over travel need for etch. What? Big cool back panel that looks like a PCB wire. Ooh, that'd be cool. No, Happy, if I do a oh man, what's the name of the, I think you're doing a simple core, is that the name of it? If I do one of those, I'll hit you up for a panel. Basically, I want to do the same thing that you're doing, you know, that shorty with just like standard stuff. Pretty sure that I have enough 2020 extrusions over here that I could cut the length. So if you don't mind, like if you have a cat or whatever, let me know. But if not, that's fine. All right, I have a connection to the SSR now. No, we did it completely wrong. You guys see? So only one of these wires need to go from the bed to the SSR. Yep, completely jacked that up. The other one needs to go to over here. Yep, completely messed that up. About the, this is why we double check. Yep, just like so. So we're basically switching one of the wires. The one that I choose to switch, it doesn't necessarily matter. The one that I'm going to choose to switch though is my live. And so I need to have one that goes from, so my live comes in, hits here, comes out and goes to live. The other one should come, the blue one should come from the bed itself and then go directly to neutral on the power supply. So I jacked that up. Bad on me. Let's cut some more wire. Okay, so this one should go from, probably just do one at a time instead of trying to do both at the same time. Could have avoided that mistake. And I'm noticing, because I'm wasting so many of these fork terminals, and I'm probably going to have to order some more pretty soon. Twist that up. This one here. A rough one based on an ender bed. I think I have an extra ender bed laying around. I was, oh man, I was gonna do a that Merc build, and so I kept one of the beds off the Ender 5. So it comes in here, and then we're switching live. So we'll do that. So, and then this should wrap around and come over here to our live on the power supply. There. Rip that. A little more. Oh. Ender 5 Plus bed is fun. Taco. I love a challenge. No, realistically, if I was going to build it, I would probably do it right though. I would get a, you know, a thick 6mm at least aluminum plate and do it that way. I don't know that I would use the PCB bed from an Ender 3 or an Ender 5. What am I looking for over here? Oh, fork terminals. Here looks like a crater. Yeah, those beds are, well, they're old now, number one. So they've just been replaced with better stuff. But then also, I don't know that they were very good in the first place. They were just good enough for the time. we have much better resources now. So in the interest of not having to endure the pain and suffering for something like that, then I would just spend the cash, get yourself a quality bed. And I think Fabrico has a bed. That went under there. Try not to press on the bottom panel too much. It does like to flex a lot, and I already broke one of the supports that I put on it already that I printed. Not trying to do that again. Jam that one in there. Snug that down. Okay. Buy once, cry once. Exactly, Kittrell. Buy once, cry once. I've always kind of been... Oh, thanks, Keela. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the single moms. If you're one of the single moms in the chat, get over in the Discord. And join Keela's Voron Widows group. She said no boys allowed. I think it's like the He-Man Woman Haters Club or something. Sound like a snap-on rep. I'm very much a middle-of-the-road kind of guy. I don't want the cheapest thing out there, but I don't necessarily want the most expensive thing out there. If the expensive thing makes sense, because it really is that good and nothing else can compare to the quality or whatever, then I'll go expensive. So that's where I will use the mantra buy once, cry once. But I much more identify with the idea of 2 is 1, 1 is none. But to be able to afford 2, you need to get 2 more affordable ones, or you're going to be crying twice. Love some single moms. Yeah, if there are single moms in the chat celebrating Father's Day today, come over to the Killer Prince Discord, get signed up, get verified, and reach out to Happy Manufacturing. Not only will he cut your panels for you, he'll cut your panels for you. Only boys in there are admins. Taco keeps us in line. I don't have a Taco. I don't have a Keela. I don't have anybody to keep me in line. I get wild. But I like to have fun. I do. You know what we got to do, Keela, though? We got to get B in the chat. I'm gonna send her a Discord invite. See if she accepts. And I did forget too, because I know we were joking about it the other day, but I already forgot to do the bang B. So it doesn't work yet. I'll get there. Haven't figured out what I want it to do, like what command it should trigger when you bang B. But talking about it right now, I think I have an idea. You'll just have to try it out on the next stream. It's been an incremental thing. I'll make a change or 2 or 3, depending on time and motivation to improve, right? So there's always at least 1 or 2 improvements every stream that we do. In terms of like behind the scenes setup type stuff. I'm still pretty terrible on camera and whatever, but setting up commands, and that's why you're seeing things in the chat like the chat bot going off, reminding you to like and subscribe, because those are one of the things that I had to set up behind the streams. I cannot see what's happening down here. You know what I mean? Not sure how to type it. What are we talking about? Are we talking about sound effects? I'm lost. I don't have issues with 0.2, just run first layer nice and slow. Under here, over there, go into. Oh, that's because I'm using that one already. Use this one. There it is. Okay, finally correct now. So we have double checking. From the bed, you have two lines. One line goes to your SSR. It gets split through a switch into another line that is the same, and that comes over to the line you want to switch. The second line on your bed comes down. We're just cutting it in half with the Wago, but that second line should go direct to the line you do not want to switch. And that way, when your bed turns on, it makes the connection with the mains voltage, which comes from your power supply, making your bed heat up. I think the wiring there is correct now. I got a little confused behind, got a little turned around with Wagos here being switched and Wagos, you know, and a switch inside here. Don't worry about that. Normally this doesn't exist and your wiring is going to be straight through. In this design, they do this so that you have easy access to remove your bed if you want to. I also have Wagos underneath the bed that you're not seeing right now to do the same thing. So I kind of have two quick disconnect points. That way I never have to remove my chain. There are also bed fans under here that are behind this bar so you can't see them. And those bed fans should help with chamber temps. We just need to configure those in the firmware and we'll be good to go. Let me replace this cover really quickly so we protect our fingers and things from falling in there. And that should be the last check. I believe we can power on. Used to have an old Ford with an aftermarket horn. Every time I hear that Iuga sound, I think of, you guys remember that movie The Mask with Jim Carrey? And he's at the Coco Bongo Club, and he sees Cameron Diaz's character for the first time, and like his chin falls on the floor, and he turns into the giant cartoon wolf guy, and starts singing the Cuba Pete song. That's what I think of when I hear that noise. Put some of this out of the way so we can capture on film any explosions. Hopefully not. Cool. Are we ready to power on? Oh, that's what you mean for B? So like when people bang B, it does the noise? We could do that. I was thinking of something else, but we could add that to it. All right, keep in mind we don't have a display connected. I'm gonna log in. I'm gonna get over to where the Pi is. I think we can close this one. I may have to get in here and do the connection on the two-head board because it has not been flashed with Clipper yet. So I'm sort of on this step here. Oh, we'll do it. I'll do it, Kila. You know I will. We haven't done any of, well, not any of it. I've done some of it. I got through all of this stuff. I flashed Catapult to the board. I have not flashed Clipper to the board yet, so I need to do that over here. Looks juiced up. There's a lot going on. There really is. And it's only because I chose to use the hardware that I chose. You have to have that U2C to provide CAN access. I'm running a CAN toolhead board. Now I could totally run direct to the main board and eliminate, but then you have a lot more wiring going down the back of the machine. I'd rather keep the wiring up top neat and tidy versus having to mess with a lot of it. So having this up here, all of this look clean was more important to me than this because I have a panel that will go here. Actually, it's this panel that I need to pull the stuff off of. But this panel should come in like that, sit right here, and then cover those things up. Oh, Happy, that reminds me. I need a Killer Prince logo here. I don't know if you make vinyl or whatnot. I think you do. I'm gonna reach out to you and send you my logo stuff. I just want a big new logo on here. Okay. It is not a Nighthawk 36. It is a Mellow SHT V3 because it comes with a eddy sensor on the bottom. So it's a much neater solution. With the Nighthawk 36, you have to add on that eddy sensor, whether it be a beacon or a cartographer. There's just more hardware that you have to get. The SHT, you can get it all together. Hey Zombie, good morning. We're just about to power on, so stay for the show. No slushies, but hopefully no sparks either. Print it with the Eufy. You could. I don't have a Eufy, and I think the bottom panel is probably too big for that. Well, it's not a built-in eddy. It is a separate board, but it comes together, and it comes with a small ribbon cable that connects up to the toolhead board. So you get both in the same package. It's a little more pricey than a Nighthawk by a few bucks, but it kind of does the same thing. All right, ready to power on? Let me find a cable. Got this one here. I usually keep this one at the workbench so that when we get to this part, can just plug right in. But I think this one happens to be a little bit short. What is happening? Or it's caught on the corner of the thing here. Hold on. So many cables. There we go. Just had to free that up now. Should be able to power on. There we go. That's long enough now. All right. So we'll plug this guy in. I'm not seeing anything bad right now. Fireworks show? Hopefully not, Zombie. Hopefully not. I think I did everything correct, and we double checked several times. But we're gonna send it and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Other than this fan making an atrocious noise, I don't know if you can hear that. I can. Well, it's seeming to calm down now, so maybe it just needed to spin up a little bit. I'll probably have to put some rubber isolators on here, so I'll print some TPU like gasket to go under these connection points. Hopefully that'll make that a little more quiet. If not, we'll move the fan to the side and it'll blow across instead of just sitting on top. But now it's actually really quiet, so we may be good. I didn't see any sparks. I'm seeing all the lights I should see. Thanks for the sub, Rock. Appreciate you. I'm seeing SSR light is off. That's good because we're not powering the bed. I'm seeing lights on the board, which is good. There's a light on the YN stop, which is good. U2C has lights. Raspberry Pi has lights. I think we're good, folks. I didn't see any sparks. I don't smell anything weird. Zombie putting bad juju in the air. I think he's just jealous that everybody wants him to bring his slushy machine over, and he chooses to be a Grinch instead. Zombie, why do you hate fun? Nothing like turning the keys over on a new engine you build. 3D printer is close. Could be a show too. I agree. I was talking on the last stream that most of the things that go through my mind when I'm building a printer, I relate to cars in some way. Daddy Wazzy, yeah, no juju, just mojo. I feel like if I didn't have it right by now, I probably shouldn't be doing this. This is probably build number 13 to 15, something like that. Zombie's been warned. I'm not warning Zombie. It's just pure pressure. It's all love. I actually really like Zombie. I think he's a really awesome person. almost as good as Liz, almost. But that's a me thing. That's subjective opinion. I'm an old pro. Sure. I've just built several. But I still made mistakes, right? So it's always good to double check. The reason I am successful is because I have processes and logic trains that I go through that keep me from making mistakes that are detrimental in a way that I can't recover. So for example, back here when we blew the fuse, that fuse saved it. I had replacements. We did it. We checked the wiring, and then we caught that mistake. The other one was this SSR one here. I still need to make a cover for that. But I almost connected these wires incorrectly. Luckily, double checking it, we caught it, made a new wire, we're good to go. So just having that mindset of thinking through the process and what makes sense, I think will keep you safe and keep you good. Anyway, let's jump in to see what the Olden wise. Let's see what the printer is yelling at us about. So we'll do here and that one. First board you bought lasted a week before you shorted a fan. Trying to change it with, yeah. If you're gonna plug in or unplug anything, you really should turn the printer off. Even if it is just a fan. That thermistor is going crazy on the bed, which tells me one of two things. Either my crimps are not working or they are swapped. I'm going to guess that they are swapped at the Wago. So again, that's a mistake, right? But it's a thermistor, so nothing detrimental. We can actually recover from this one. So what I'm going to do is take it back over here. I'm not going to turn the printer off. It's a thermistor. It doesn't matter. But I think what I did is like I split the wires, right, to go into the Wago, and then from here they go over to the board. I think what I probably did is swap them, twist them together, and then ran it. And so you're getting this weird, because you'll see they're connected here. They're just sort of twisted together. If I pull these apart and untwist these, and then swap them to where they should be, probably fix that problem. That one is there. This one is here. And it turns out I always twist my wires in the same direction. And so it makes untwisting them easier because you know which way you should be going. Not always easy to tell. I always twist them to the left, and which means I untwist to the right. But just one of those process things. Like if you do things the same way every time, it's easier to not make mistakes. Hopefully. Well, you're still gonna make them, right? It's just how badly are they gonna hurt? And that's okay. Wiring stuff is complicated. See what we're saying here. Nighthawk Stealth Burner doesn't support the umbilical mod, does it? Which board are you using and what made you choose it? Nonsense. Okay, so a couple of answers there. I don't know specifically about the Nighthawk Stealth Burner because I don't have one and I've never used one. I've gone to the Nighthawk 36 style of boards, or EBB 36 style of boards. And so they don't have like umbilical concerns. So yeah, looks like that thermistor is still going crazy. See if I can do, I'm not sure why that one is that way. Gotta fix that. Either way, forgot what I was talking about. Oh, Stealth Burner Nighthawk. Don't know if it supports the umbilical mod. I'm not sure what you mean by umbilical mod. There's a lot of mods out there. You'd have to be more specific on which one you're talking about. But my guess is yes, if it uses the same XT60 connection that all the Nighthawk stuff is using now. So the Victory Tech stuff, the Mellow stuff, they use 224 volt and can high, can low pins that run back to a daughter board, and then you plug that daughter board in via USB. So it sounds like it should. And then the board that I'm using is a Corvus G board. You have to reach out to the dev to get one. It's a homebrew project. It's not a mainline board you're gonna find for normal printer builds. What made me choose it is because I had it for over a year, just waiting for the right project to put it into. I started doing this one and I thought, hey, it's time to use up this board. It's actually pretty feature rich for being the size that it is. It gets you almost everything that the Manta M8P gets, except you do have to have a separate Raspberry Pi. You can't put a CM4 on the board itself. So otherwise, it's 48 volt capable. It's got 4 heaters, 8 fan ports that are controllable, 10 thermistor ports. It's a pretty capable board, so perfect for this project. They are in a 3-pin Wago because you got to separate. What? What do you mean? They are in a 3-pin Wago because you got to separate the wires. They are separated. It's in a 3-pin, so I have one of the wires going into. Oh, you're absolutely correct. That's exactly what's happening. See, thanks, Bryce. Wiring is more fun when you're colorblind. Daddy Wazzy, if I were colorblind, I couldn't do my job, man. That sucks for you. I'm sorry. We had one of my secretaries is colorblind, and when this guy would do spreadsheets, he didn't say anything about it. I never knew, but I would make edits and I would highlight it in yellow. Homie can't see yellow, so I would highlight a thing. He would never change it, and then I'd go back to him like, dude, I made a highlight right here asking you to update this information. Why didn't you change it? He's like, oh, because I can't see it. I'm colorblind. I'm like, why did you wait 4 months to tell me you were colorblind? You were struggling this whole time trying to decipher what is what. I didn't even know you were colorblind. So we changed the colors to something that he can see, and we figured out a process. But man, things like that, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'll make the change, Bryce. Thanks for the tip, because that is actually true. That's what I'm missing. I thought I was being smart by using it, and turns out I'm not as smart as I think I am. Kevin learned a hack to picking out colors. He turns the lights in his office pink. I think you were saying that the other day, Liz. Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know if that works the same on a some of the other stuff though, like Excel. All right, so that's the problem. Bryce hooked us up here. Basically what we're doing by putting in this Wago is connecting both wires together, regardless of how they should be. So I'm just gonna twist these. We'll cover them with some heat shrink, and we'll call it good. So I'll just take them out really quickly. We'll twist these up. And I think that's going to solve our issue there. Check back into Chrome and see if that fixed it. It should have. Nice work, silicone matte pad. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so it's still showing the same thing, Bryce. Oh, there it goes. It just swapped over. 26.6. That was our problem. I'll put a little bit of heat shrink on there really quick, and that should make us good. I'm going to, what did I do with it? Here we go. Yeah, Mike V, for whatever reason, people really like this pad. I got this one on AliExpress, but they have the same exact one on Amazon. I feel like I should just put an affiliate link on there somewhere. And that way you guys help out the channel just by buying stuff you're already gonna get. It doesn't cost you anything extra. But this came from AliExpress. You can find them on Amazon. And it's great. It keeps all the tools where they should be. versus all over the desk, rolling off on the floor and that kind of thing. Just cutting up a couple of small pieces of heat shrink here so we can protect those wires. I'm going to leave them twisted the way they are. I'm just going to slide on some heat shrink here. I'll go back and do a permanent fix later. Permanent fix will include so I've got some solder seal connections. If you don't have a set of these, I'll show you these over here on the desk. What's that, ESP with the separators? Yep, that's exactly what it is, Clown Hammer. Yeah, so these right here, these solder seal connections. So there's a bit of solder inside there. You insert wires from either end, and then what I do is I'll take my tweezers, right? And I'll just grab right against that solder seal and I'll compress that. That'll pinch the wires in there and sort of hold them in place long enough for you to get your torch or your heat gun or whatever you're going to use. And you just torch that. It will both heat shrink the connections and the wires together, but then also melt the solder and allow that to flow between the wires. So really making a solid connection. I had to use these earlier in the day before stream to do some of the bed wiring because it wasn't long enough. And they come in this size. This is great for, 22, 24 gauge, 26s as well. But then they have larger set for 18 gauge. So 18, 16 gauge for that one. And then if you really want to go big, you can get some green here. This is 18 to 16. This one is 22 to 16. This one is 26, 24. So I've got 3 different sizes for builds. I've had these for two to 3 years, and 200 pieces, 400 pieces. Like, these last a long time. You can also use it for car audio wiring, which is something I used to be into. All right, I'll take it back to Chrome. Hey, Radio TBO. Good to see you here. Just ordered some of those solder joints. Good, man. Hopefully you like them, Mike. For roadside fixes, yeah, for sure. Great for that. I need to shrink these heat shrinks on there, and then we'll get back to the config. I do need to make a couple changes to pins. I need to identify where my what is it, the filament runout sensor is. So once I do that, should be good to go. So Bryce, you'll be happy to know, like, I've done this exact same mistake before because I thought I was being smart. I used Wagos to connect my thermistor wires, and I didn't have it in 2 separate connections. Obviously, I didn't learn from my mistakes. So I just have those connected on there like that. We'll make that clean later. That's just a quick fix to get things going. And then we'll come over here so I can see that my chamber temp is wrong, probably because I need to change the pin. But now my heater is good to go. I'm seeing temperatures for all of my motors. They're relatively equal. Motor 1 seems a lot cooler. My fly probe is not registering at all, probably because we didn't set any of that. So, we're going to go in here. Yeah, they are watertight in projects and that. A lot of warnings here. What is this? Bed mesh profile. We can just see. There's a few updates. Probably updates and stuff. You've killed your 36 about 3 times too many. Knock on wood, I have not killed a main board or a 36. Good there. Let's upgrade over here. No, I've just been very lucky, but I get a little paranoid when it comes to wiring. It can be dangerous. You can hurt yourself and you can burn your house down. So I get a little paranoid with stuff like that. Thermistors, obviously, right? You're not going to hurt anything, but we made a mistake there. The stuff I worry about is like the mains. I triple check that. And then anything with 24 volt that connects to an electronic, so like a fan or a 36 or any kind of CAN connection. The low and the high wires you don't worry about because those are low voltage. And if you get them backwards, it's just not going to talk. But your power wiring, you definitely want to. You can blow up something. Killed both last week. Man, that's expensive. Okay, we should be up to date with all the things. Let's make a few changes in the printer.config here. On my, let's see. We need to go to, okay, so I'm already noticing that I did not connect my X motor to that, so I connected them to the main board in the way that Boron would want you to do it. So my Y motor is in motor 0 right now. So I basically need to swap X and Y across the board. Take mental note of that one. And then for the extruder should be good. We plugged in things like it should go. Heaters are where they're supposed to be. What else? Steppers are fine. Come back to auto tune. It was giving me trouble. Heat bed. Okay, my sensor is correct. It's registering like it should. That pin is correct as well. Fan. Okay, so controller fan. According to my notes, that should be fan port 7. I'll tell you what, we can do like a picture-in-picture type of thing. Let's see if I can do. And that's huge. We're going to scale this. You guys can see what's going on over here. I'll just kind of move that somewhere where it makes sense, I guess. There we go. All right, what did I change? I need my electronics fan. Where's that? Okay, so that's the controller fan. My bed fans, that's what I need. So I think we need, I gotta look up the pin reference, but I'm gonna control and paste that there. And this is going to be bed. I want to say this is going to be like a temperature fan. Look at the reference over here for Calico. Calico has a different setup on, well, I wouldn't say setup. It's more like a different ideology on how they allow you to control your printer. They take the tack that if you want to have very finite control over what you enable and not enable, then they allow you to do that. Clipper has training wheels on, Calico has training wheels off. So you definitely can mess up some stuff, but if you take it easy and you know what you're doing and you read a lot before you actually install certain things, you'll be okay. One of the things that they allow you to do is have different styles of fans. So down here, this is your typical Clipper stuff. You've got fan, you've got heater fan, controller fan, temperature fan, and generic. But one of the differences is that Calico allows you a heated fan. So this one here is what we're going to do. And we'll talk about what it allows here in a second. But the heated fan is normally used for like a chamber heater. So some of these parameters are going to be the same. So like heater temp and stuff like that for description of what it does. But your heater generic section for the heater parameters, heater temp is 50. So this is the target temperature in Celsius for the heater when the fan is turned on. So the fan comes on at a certain temperature. I'm going to set that temperature. My heater is going to be, we'll call it the heated bed. Because I want to say that's what I called it up here. Having this timeline on allows you to see the, yeah, so it's called heater_bed. That's going to be our heater. Our pin for this is not that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be the one we turn on. So that's going to be F6. Once that bed goes above, I don't want to turn it on for PLA. I only want to turn it on for like ABS. So I'm going to set this to, I think, 90. So once the heater bed gets to 90C, it's going to turn on these bed fans and allow air to circulate, sort of like a convection oven, to really kind of heat up the chamber and assist with that. So I think that's what I'm going to set. Min speed 1, so the minimum fan speed that the fan will be set to when its associated heater is on to protect the ducts from melting. Again, this is meant for a chamber heater. We are missing the heater part, so I'm not worried about melting. We can add this min speed in there. That way, if it does need to adjust down, we can adjust it down here. If I want it a little lower, I can do that. Maybe we set this to like 75%, so 0.75. And then the other pin we will add is idle timeout. So a timeout in seconds for the fan to stay on when it is requested to turn off to protect the duct. Yeah, again, I'm not worried about melting. But once we go below 90, they will run for an additional amount of time. That's what that's here. So they'll run for an additional 60 seconds. So that is set. My bed temperature is correct. Just looking at my motors here. I have a chamber thermistor as well. And that one can be under the thermistor section here. It's above fans. Where are we at? Temp sensor. Here we go. Temp sensor. I want to say that we're just going to use the same thing. Oh, I also need to set up centerless homing on the x-axis because I do not have a end stop. Y has an end stop, X does not, and that's because the Reaper doesn't have an X end stop that I was able to find. Maybe there's a mod or something, but we'll just do a common thermistor here. Control C all of that. Come up here. I know I have temperature stuff somewhere else, way down below. Yeah, here we go, temperature monitoring. So I can just add, there's my chamber temperature sensor there. It's not at T7, it is at T2 based on where I connected it. It's also not a generic 3950. It is a, let me find a different one. What do I do with it? This is a, so I'll show you guys this up close here. So I get these packages. These come from AliExpress. It's basically a thermistor, but it has an eyelet on the end, so you can connect it to a extrusion. You can connect it to a motor. You can basically mount it to anything with a screw as large as probably an M4. All right, and it's a 100K thermistor. So NTC, thermistor temp, high precision, 100K. So when I come into my configuration reference over here, and I want a list of sensors, The one that I would want is either this Honeywell right here. I could probably use this Eptos, and I can use this NTC. So they're all 100K. Otherwise, this is like a no-name thing. You like that? Sonofa? I don't. Fine Hammer. I don't know what Sonofa is. Oh, son of a. It's a long day already. Long day, son of a. Got it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this an Epcos, whatever. Copy that one. Come back. Just paste that one here. And we'll see if that works. It should be the last change other than swapping those motor connections around, which I'm going to power down to make sure that we don't break anything. And yeah, that seemed to fix the chamber temps right there. So we're at 27. Turns out that's similar to what the bed is showing. So we should be fine with that. I didn't get anything yelling at me about heater fans. Option heater in section heated fan bed fans is invalid. So we'll have to look at that, I guess. Min speed heated fan, like it's yelling at me about all of that. I wonder if Calico didn't pull over all of its things. We get shake tune in here, clippers in here. It's almost like Calico is not recognized. But I'm seeing Calico version here. Why is it yelling at me about that? Oh, it's for Kegel? Yeah, I got you. No, Kegel was here first. Like he even said it in the initial stream. I had to stop and then restart the stream because technology is hard. I may need to find a different bed fan. That's a per fan. That doesn't make sense. Temperature fan, temperature triggered cooling fan. Whenever it's, yeah, we don't want that. Controller fan, we don't want that. Heater fan. Heater fan is a fan that will be enabled whenever. Okay, so maybe we need heater fan. Yeah, it's heater or right. Yeah, I'm tracking with you, Havoc. I think we kind of figured it out at the same time. I thought it would be a heated fan initially, but you're correct. It's a heater fan. Save and restart that and see if that works out for us. Unknown heater, heated bed. Okay. What did I call it then? Did I call it HB? I sure did. Hey, Digital Dragon. Good morning. Happy Father's Day, sir. We are almost there. This weird thing. I think I'm gonna solve this later. It doesn't want to accept what I want to do. I just want to do bed fans, and I know that bed fans is a mod. Maybe there's a config here, so we'll use Ellis's config. Let's see what that looks like. Save that in the downloads folder. Back over here. Okay. So you probably can't see the window that I'm looking at, but see how it goes. Oh, doing your wifely duties? Yeah, I need to sort of wrap up here pretty quick. I know my wife is awake right now, looking for instructions on what we're gonna do today. So these are a bunch of macros. I'm looking more for a config. Not saying these are not useful. These are definitely going to be useful. Fan generic bed fans. That's how they got it worked out. And then they just call them on and off with macros. That's fine. I think we can do it that way. Fan generic bed fans. I'm gonna comment that out. We can do that. And then in the config, they have just the pin, and then they have a kickstart time of a half. Add that in there like so. And then there's macros and stuff in there that I can add to my macros. Down to basically behind this guy. We'll do it in here. Yeah, look at everybody being nice, saying Happy Father's Day around. I love that. It's good to be civil. All right, so just copying some of this big stuff over here. Don't know if these are correct. I generally don't copy and paste without double checking what's going on. But it seems like these are pretty mundane, and we'll take a quick look at them to make sure they're not going to burn down the house. And get everything over here so it's color coded at least. Okay, so going through this, you've got some variables up top. So fan speed, once the bed temp is reached, they have you dropping it down to 60. The bed temp is above 100. I'm going to do it at 90. I print ABS just slightly lower, especially if I'm on a cool plate. I can do it at 90 and it works well. It's pretty hot in the garage, so it should be fine. And then while it's heating, they want you to be slow. Fan speed while the bed is heating. No, I think I want to be... Oh, I guess you don't want to cool it down too much. But I'm going to hit that up to 25. All right, so slow. We're going to do bed fans. I'm going to set it to the slow speed. Cool. And fan fed fast. Okay, makes sense. You can turn them off with a G-code macro button. We got a heater, temps in here. All of those make sense to me. I just got to make sure that we are calling things in the slicer as heater and target. You got a 190 and a 140. That makes sense. That's what Orca Slicer wants you to do. And then I already have this other 190 in here as well. Wonder if they conflict. Bonus, use temperature weight so we don't have to wait for PID to level off. Okay. I think I'll comment out this one here for now. And we'll use the one that came with the bed fans. We'll keep the weight, hot, and temp stuff. Everything else looks fine. I don't see that creating an issue. Let's see if we can make this move before we wrap. All right. Still not getting an eddy probe. That's probably because we need to flash the board. Yes. So we're back over here. Or I did not have my tool head board flashed at all. We'll do that, and then I will open a new tab for this. What am I doing? I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I lost the the place I was looking to go to. I know that we did all this stuff, so I'm just moving quickly. Next step, click here if you have a dedicated CAN adapter, which we do. This is our USB CAN device. I've already done this stuff here. I think I got stuck on this link, so a better check is by running that bit rate. So we probably need to get into SSH a little bit. Hey Steve, happy Father's Day. If you don't watch Steve on YouTube, he starts streaming in about 45 minutes. We hope to be wrapped up by then. We've got the printer powered on. Things are mostly talking. We're trying to finish up the esoterical guide now. And then once we get that good to go, should be able to get it moving. All right, so in the guide, they have us do a few more steps here after you power stuff on. So we're trying to figure that out. Do I ever go 48 volt? It's running 48 volts right now. Where's the guide? So many windows. Here we go. So it has us do the LSUSB. There's a bunch of guys on the 0G Discord that rub 48 volt. I think you mean run with CPAP and all that. I don't necessarily like CPAP. I've got two 5015 fans. This is probably going to be an ABS machine. That's mostly what I print anyway, but with two cooling fans like that, and those are high output fans, I should be able to run PLA with the door closed. So I'm not worried about having CPAP. I think CPAP provides too much cooling in some circumstances and can make your part fail even with PLA. So like even PLA needs some LSUSB. There we go. So we got our main board here. I'm not seeing our hub. So I think that's maybe where I got stuff. An adapter. Let's do this. All right, so we did the wiring. Mine is wired this way, so I have this voltage going in. I've got my tool head the exact same. My Pi is connected the exact same. We made these connections here today. I've already flashed this new firmware, so should be good to go there. May see an error. I didn't see any errors. Once flash, unplug, then plug it back in. We did all that stuff. Run an if config, and you should see a CAN 0 interface. So let's run an if config. I don't see a CAN 0 interface. That's the issue. Sim Devon, you keep hearing 24 volt. 24 volt for what? It's kind of hard to understand what's going on in the chat. I know it makes sense to you when you're saying it. It's hard to come across as text, so I'll kind of go through it. The printer will run 48 volt. I've got it wired as such. My fans, though, are 24 volt. There are a lot of 24 volt components. There's even some 5 volt components, and the hot end fan is actually 12 volt. So I need a mix of everything, and that's why you're seeing a couple of different converters in there to take 24 volt and change it to both 5 volt and to 48 volt. That's why there's so many electronics in the bay right now. Long before you run out of airflow on even 5015, you are printing so fast your tool head is across. Yes, exactly. The Delta that I have, the S1, uses CPAP, and if I run it at 100%, it will thermal error the hot end because it cools the hot end down too much. So I can only run that thing. Hey, thanks, Zims. Happy Father's Day to you as well. So I can only run that Delta at about 50% fan when I print PLA because it'll fail to print. I don't know why this thing is not connecting to a CAN 0 network. And that's why I just wanted to start over. So I have this dedicated port. I'm not seeing this Schneider CAN adapter. Okay, if you want to use a dedicated, it should be as simple as plugging in your Pi. Shouldn't have to flash anything, although I already have. You can test if it's running by running an ls USB command. I don't know. We'll just go through it again, I suppose. Yeah, so I'm not seeing it there. Better check is to run this one. Let's run this one. CAN 0 does not exist. You can see it. It'll be that. If it returns an error, go back to the top of this page and check that your CAN adapter is properly showing up. I don't think mine is because I'm not seeing a network at all. Anybody have any ideas? Bad firmware that would show up to the above test, it would, what? Which, although it would show up to the above test, it would make issues show up down the line. If you have that, then probably they're using the data capable cable. It's not listed in ls USB. Yeah, the cable is the one that came with the 36. So it's a CAN cable, so yes. I mean, I assume that they would send me a cable with the board that could be used on the board. Try swapping it. I'd have to make another cable to swap it. I can make sure that it's plugged in all the way. Like I don't have another cable that would. Are you talking the USB cable from the Pi to the U2C Thunder keys? Is that what you mean? For your MCU USB cable? Gotcha. Okay, yeah, we could try that. 1 second. Tell you what, let's I'll use an entire different known good USB cable. I thought you meant the CAN cable. My bad. I was like, that's gonna be painful. I don't want to do that. So I've got this one here. We'll try this. There, and then plug this anywhere where it'll fit. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay. You can also check to see if it detects like a USB-C phone over data. Okay. I'm gonna jump back in here and we'll try this one again. Does not exist. Still doesn't show up. Even on that cable. Could be a bum cable USB port on the Pi. Try different Pi ports. Moving ports. This Pi should be good though, as far as I know. Yep, not seeing that one. Do I need to turn it off and turn it back on? Try that. Try using the cable. Okay, yeah, that was going to be my next step. I have several cables. I find it hard to believe that the one I plugged in is wrong or bad, but I'm willing to try anything. So I've got a crap ton more cables. So we can do that. So plug this guy. Oh, this is a cable that came with like a Manta or a Big Tree Tech board. So I have a hard time believing that cable is not going to be good for data. But we'll try the other option here because we have a known working cable, and that'll help us eliminate. Okay, I saw a little green light come on the U2C. Did I try putting it in DFU mode? When I flashed it, I put it into DFU mode. So I know that it will. I had to put new firmware on it, and I did that. I will come back up here. Yeah, we can do that, Thunder Keys. So what I did was I came in here and I did Esoterical's guide. So I had this dedicated device. I went through, I put it into DFU mode, and then I got this thing here. And I never saw CAN network. So from here, I go to Big Tree Tech, and then put my resistor on in this spot. It's still there. I wired it this way. If you're able to get into DFU mode and see it via LSUSB there, then you have a, yeah, tracking. I wasn't sure if I had bad firmware or not, so I just went ahead and flashed this new firmware on it, and it was successful. I got through all of this stuff here. I got this screen. I should have been good to go. This is the end of the thing. So when I got to the end, it asked me to do an if config, and I should see a CAN 0. Never saw the CAN 0. And I don't know why that is. Did I verify my CAN network resistance? No. Are you saying I should remove the resistor? Yeah, and I agree with Thunder Keys. It should still show without the jumpers or any of that. And now, some reason, the Pi won't move. Good morning, Reth. Happy Father's Day. We're going to go get sexy later. We're going to get our nails done. We're going to go get nails done in Chipotle. Yeah, the Pi will not connect now. I don't know why that is. Maybe we should turn it off, turn it on. Gotta go to the spa day. I know, it's my day. I wanted to go somewhere else. But no, honestly, she wanted to go to a car show in Lake Hughes. It's like an hour-ish from here. I don't know. It's supposed to be like 107 today. I don't know if I want that life. Yeah, so my Pi's not talking now. And we didn't change anything. That's weird. Well, I'm lost. Shrimp Daddy. Yeah, Shrimp Daddy's here. We got all the normal folks here. Beth. It's been a day of not the smoothest getting going, but got a lot of work done today. We're trying to just get the printer to print right now. So I just need to make the tool head talk, and then once that's good, we should be able to make this thing move. I mean, honestly, we can make it move without the tool head, but I was hoping to validate fans and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why this won't talk to one another now. We didn't change anything. Hey, Thunder, do you think that maybe the Wi-Fi changed during update? Because with this new Raspberry Pi situation, how they have you flash your or upload your internet information, it gets weird, and it took me a while. Yeah, I can turn it off, turn it back on. I need to swap these motors around anyway. I connected them different from what I had in the config. So swap X and Y. That's why I didn't put the cover on yet. I had a feeling that we would have to maybe move some things. Just swapping X and Y around. Okay, so that's all done. I guess I could try this other USB cable if I have not already. Yeah, I haven't done it already. I'll try this other cable. If it can pick up my main board with this cable, then it's not my cable. That needs a 90-degree angle. I have one more of those. I'm just using a shorty with a 90 on it. This is what I was using on the main board, and it worked fine. I took it from the main board, put it onto the U2C, and come on. It's really tight to get fingers in there. There we go. And then plug this in over here. I'm less convinced it's the cable if you were able to flash it. It's not here. No, you're good. We didn't flash it today. I flashed this off stream using a different cable earlier. So I'm not against thinking that it's that particular cable that we were using. I just don't know that to be sure. I feel like that's a quality cable. It's the purple one, the purple USB, which is like a 3.2 or something. I don't know. It's not. My point is, it's not a cheapo cable. The cables that are in it now are cheapo cables. While the power's off, grab the CAN network resistance. What do you mean? Grab the CAN networking resistance. Zombie, I wouldn't even know how to do that, man. I really wouldn't. There is a. Should I have CAN enabled on both the toolhead and the U2C, or just the U2C? That could be something. Disconnect all the CAN bus cables and get the U2C working. Okay. Try that. Time to get your new free phone. Nice. Hey, it's talking now. No matter how the jumpers are set on the board. Multimeter set to ohms. Measure resistance between the CAN high-low connections. Okay. Well, things are talking on the Wi-Fi side at least. So let's see what it says over here. You had a bad cable, was able to flash the board, but when you went to actually use it, Clipper would sometimes read the board and sometimes not. Yeah, Brett, I've ran into that before. It seems that whatever was going on, the Pi just couldn't connect to the Wi-Fi just now, which is weird. But now we're good. All right. So we want to run that. Yeah, it's still not seeing the U2C. So I think we try the resistance thing to kind of rule that out. In the meantime, I can disconnect the CAN cable, put it back in DFU. We could do that. I think I need to power off, but let's see. There we go. It should be in DFU mode now. So there it is. So that's it there. Don't waste your time with the resistance. It needs to be seen via USB by the Pi before anything else works. I agree. I was just trying to satisfy the message. Do the reflash again. Okay, let's do it. Go back to here and here. Sorry, this one. All right, so let's flash again. We've done the wiring piece of it. It does have a solid 24-volt connection. It's got a solid connection to the Pi. We just realized that with the DFU mode. And the cables are connected here. Let's see. So he has a fixed version of the firmware here. You can download it to your Pi by doing that. All right, so copy this guy and paste it here. And looks like a good flash. Agree? That's not the flash? What do you mean? That's just downloading. Yeah. Sorry. Wrong terminology. All right. Did the thing, so we downloaded the firmware and then confirm it is connected. We just did that, but we will do it again to satisfy the gods of making sure steps are in order. So there, and then here. Yep, that guy there. And come back to this. And if you can see it there, then just run the command to flash the fixed firmware. Okay. This guy here. Do that one. Looks like it's going. Successful. Coming back over to the Chrome tab. Now reset the board. Reset itself, but I'll hit the button again. And when you say reset, should I turn the printer off altogether? May see an error. Once flash, unplug from the Pi, then plug it back in. Run an if config. Try the button first. Just did the button. Try this if config thing. Yeah, so the problem is I still don't have that CAN 0 network. All right, Kegel, see you, buddy. Have a good day. Yeah, I need that CAN 0 network. I'm only seeing these. Does it show in LSUSB? It does not. It doesn't show it will not create the network. I mean, unless it's one of these microchips here, then no. Try shut down power back. Can do. It is not. Those are, yeah, that's what I thought. So we'll do a yeah, I'm tracking Thunder keys, thanks. All right, we'll turn it off. Okay, printer's off. We'll give that a few seconds to clear out any capacitors that may be holding anything. Power's back on. Thanks for helping, Thunder Keys. I appreciate it. I know you're like the master at all this stuff. I mean, I'm not completely dumb to any of it, but I am not as good as you are by any means. Okay, so we're back in. If I do the LSUSB, still don't have it. That's the weird part because that's the second time I've gone through start to finish flashing the thing. We're supposed to be getting out. Yeah, I was supposed to just have the war scars and Linux experience. Projects in Dad's Garage, you're correct. I'm gonna get every last 23 minutes out of this thing. I really want this talking. I don't feel good about leaving the stream um, on a problem like this. That sucks for you all. It sucks for me. I feel obligated to have some sort of, final solution for this thing. Yeah, so I did all that. I really don't know what else to do. So I thought about maybe just starting from the beginning. So if we get started, if I'm on Chrome here. So if I go get started, I do all this stuff. It talks about this network service can speed transmit, and this is a different updated one from the last time I saw it. So I followed, I don't know what a DVOM is. Oh, half your streams into early because of issues. Yeah, it's one of those things. When you put a hard time cap on it of 3 hours, you either have to be moving along and making progress without problems, or you're going to end on a low note there. So I guess what I need to do is just kind of go through this stuff again. Voltmeter. I do have a voltmeter. I'm kind of with Thunder Keys though. I don't know that the resistance in the CAN network matters if I can't even see the CAN adapter via USB. If the Pi can't talk to it, it doesn't matter what the resistance is on the cable. You could try unplugging all the CAN network devices. I mean, there's only the one. So should I unplug the tool head board? Is that what you're saying? I mean, I can definitely do that. Get my hands in here. Okay, the tool head board is disconnected. The only thing connected right now is the U2C. What USB port are you in? C on the U2C? I'm in the USB-C port, yes. I got it in a DFU mode and it showed yes. So I'm using the right ports. I'm just going through the getting started stuff because I don't know what else to do. It's got to be like a network thing. So then we start the service with this guy, like that, and then copy in this guy here, check to make sure it's running properly. That, and it says that it is running. The getting started section guide has several steps for enabling the yeah, that's what I already did that before, KCMO buff. I'm going through it again because I'm not confident that it worked for some reason. What? Can be such a pain. Yes. Can be a pain if it doesn't work. It's hard to figure it out because I don't know how many people are super smart on Linux these days. Me myself, I am not smart on it. I've just done several CAN setups before, and you just keep going through different guides and stuff until it just figures itself out. So you got to be a little persistent sometimes. All right, so we started the service. We made sure it was running properly. Now we got to make sure it's loaded, active, running, and it was. It also enables this other thing. So we have to run this next command. Done. If disabling this results in any negative impact, please let them know. Cool. Then configure the interface. Okay, so we'll just copy that guy. Over here, do this. right. To confirm it runs correctly, we'll do that one. And then I'm seeing what I need right there, the 128. It looks like the example. Didn't this used to be 1024? Yes, it was. Recommended to do 128. No issues. Should help with some of the timeout stuff. Cool. Now finally to enable can 0 and set the speed. I'm gonna do this command. All right, so that looks like we just set up the can 10 and the can 25. What did you miss? Happy Father's Day, Dave. You missed finishing up the wiring. We're struggling through getting the CAN network set up. It's not recognizing the U2C adapter. That's that. It looks fine. Okay, so I'm seeing the same thing as in the guide, and then it says reboot the Pi. All right, both ends. Your CAN board will almost certainly have the provisions for this. You want to have 2 of these terminations in the circuit, no more, no less. I've got one on the toolhead board. I've got one on the U2C that it connects to. So I have 2 in the system. CAN adapter. Some boards have it permanently connected, so nothing to do. Others have a 2-pin header. Also have a header. You can find information over there. Toolhead boards have some way of doing it. Cabling, good crimps, strain relief, flexible cable. I don't think any of that matters. Am I using a cartographer? I am not. I'm using an SHT36, and that toolhead board uses its own version of a cartographer. It's just an eddy probe, and it has its own configuration and stuff. Works similarly, is what is advertised. We'll see. We got to get things talking first. But it should do a similar job to a cartographer or beacon or anything like that. Cool thing is on the SHT version 3, there is a 2-pin port that you can connect another CAN device to the toolhead board. So you don't have to run a secondary cable all the way back. That's kind of cool. So if I were doing a stealth changer or something like that, well, maybe not a stealth changer, but if I were running a toolhead board and I had a cartographer that I wanted to connect through CAN, instead of running a secondary cable, I can just connect into that port and get my CAN high-low repeated through to my cartographer, and then I would just need to add a 24-volt source, which on the toolhead board there's another port for that you can pull 24 volt. Does the eddy probe have a 120? It does not. It is a smooth PCB with no other connections than the ribbon cable that it has. So just waiting for the Pi to come back up. And folks, I think if this doesn't start to happen today, I may have to just call the stream. Definitely got to get out of here and go do stuff. Getting pretty tight on the timeline. Yeah, as far as I know, just running through this guide, I've never had issues like this one. Okay, so dedicated USB CAN device. We did all of that. And now we're running into the Pi not connecting once again. Yeah, sometimes the scanner does have that. I haven't seen that on the cartographer though. So, yeah, I don't know. That printer ain't going nowhere. Do your stuff. Yeah, I'll be fine. I just want to fix this part of it. This is where I was running into trouble the other day and why I paused and started doing wiring instead. I feel like I just need to turn it off and turn it back on because when I reboot it, it doesn't fully reboot. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Let's see if it'll connect now. I don't know what's up with this thing. Okay, so we should be able to see it once this comes back. What did I do? There it is. Yeah, so it's almost like you have to turn it off and turn it back on just to get it to go. And I'm still not seeing the OpenMoko stuff that we're looking for. No, you're good, Thunder Keys, man. It's I appreciate your help so far today. I'll reach out to you later if I can't figure it out on my own. It'll be later in the week though. I don't know that I'll have any more time today to deal with this. But I appreciate you for the help that you tried to provide. Folks, there's about 10 minutes left. We got this is why you run a Nighthawk. Kittrell, I have 4 Nighthawks over there that I need to use. I was kind of holding on to those for a tool changer build, but I may dive into the stash because I got to get this thing going. If I do that, though, I got to figure out a way to do either a cartographer or a beacon, which is more of a challenge because I don't have a lot of other space inside of the bay for those kinds of things. Either way, am I going to Murph? I'm not Digital Dragon. I wish I could. It's just not in the cards financially for me. I live in California. Murph is, Indiana. So the travel alone would kill me. And I don't have any more time off. I got to go back to work next week. Next week is a huge work week for us. And so getting time off is a no-go. What about Vice? Jason, I am really trying to go to Vice. We'll see if we can make that work. I'm really trying to go to Vice. I know it's in Portland. It's a lot closer to me. I think by October, I should be able to financially make that work. But we'll see. Yeah, have it. Carto directly goes. The thing is, I don't know that I have another cartographer. I have a beacon. Beacon does not directly go, so I'd have 2 cables going up, which is not ideal. And then I'd probably have to redo some of the wiring because I shortened it to fit. There's a little bit of slack in there. I shortened it to fit the SHT. I think it'll be fine. Boss gave you permission to go? Yeah, my wife has no qualms with me going to any of these events. She knows that it's what I like to do. She cares about the money aspect. Like I was looking at plane tickets to go to Murph, and because it's so last minute, they're like $400 for a round trip. Not to mention I would have to do a 2.5-hour drive to get down to LAX, to catch a flight, to get all the way over there, plus hotel for a couple days, and then rental cars where it really hurts. If you want to get around for a couple of days, rental car and hotel are the pain point. Maybe next year we'll be able to go. We'll see what happens. But folks, I think that's going to be the stream. Obviously, we were not able to be successful on the ultimate goal of getting the printer to move today. However, we got a lot of the wiring done. We did an overview on what we finished. Yeah, I'll do some work behind the scenes. Next video will be a recap. We'll move into the next build and stuff like that. I'll talk about that one. So maybe the next one will just be a chat and chill. I think it's due. A stream with no real purpose other than hanging out, talking shop, figuring out what's next, that kind of thing. lot less pressure on everyone, and it'll be good. So that's going to be it for the stream, folks. Again, apologize we weren't successful in getting things going like you all probably came here to see. But thanks to all 17 of you for hanging out. Happy Father's Day to the fathers in the audience. Go do something fun with your kids. Go do something fun with your spouses. Enjoy the day, even if it is playing video games. Do that stuff with your kids because that's the purpose of today. So y'all be easy. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good time out there and be safe.